Hello, welcome to another video by Moxie Marine. In this video I wanted to explain some things about my business and basically why it takes so long sometimes to build a boat. This particular boat is a 5-liter Mercruiser V8 engine, and the customer they brought it to me in pretty bad shape. The boat had been, the entire interior of this boat had been submerged in water. So everything related to this motor, the trim system, the outdrive, every single system on this boat was damaged. So I rebuilt the motor, and that's a whole different story. I'll tell you about that in a second. Then I rebuilt the trim. I had to replace the trim motor. Was locked up. That's a brand new trim motor. Had to replace the trim motor. I had to take that entire trim assembly out, disconnect the lines from it, and basically disconnect or take the reservoir off and flush the reservoir out. It was basically water and oil mix, nasty stuff. Fortunately, the motor was frozen, so it wouldn't allow you to pump that nasty mix into the hydraulic lines. There was some water in the hydraulic lines, but I purged it out and got it out. So I had to rebuild the trim system. Then the outdrive system on the outside, it was leaking. The seal was leaking on the top, so I took that apart, and that ended up being replacing the bearings in the top half, the gears, and I had to flush that too. So all in all, the scope of this project went from an engine rebuild to just about rebuild this entire boat. The only thing I haven't, I did replace the power steering pump because it got water in it and was rusted inside. Trying to think if there's anything else got damaged. Let's see. About the only thing that I did not replace that probably should have been replaced was the fuel pump. The fuel system is a sealed system, so it's probably not going to get water in it. But the fuel pump itself is the heart of the engine, and you don't be stuck out on the ocean. This is an ocean-going boat, and you don't be stuck out on the ocean with a bad fuel pump. Even though I just pump gasoline out of this thing for maybe a couple hours. But anyway, the bottom line is that this engine and this entire boat was very difficult, and problem is the customer's quite a bit of ways away, and to give him back the boat without test driving the water, let's say I just rebuilt the motor and nothing else. Well, I can't test drive it on the water without a working trim system or a working power steering system or working outdrive. So he wanted to make sure it was working. So I kind of have to rebuild everything else to get it to be able to test drive it on the water. And I can understand that. Most of my customers want their boat back ready for the water. Unfortunately, so far it's entailed working going beyond the scope that I originally contracted for, which is just rebuilding the motor. And so it's harmed my business. It's harmed my other customers. It's made a lot of my other customers had to wait longer. And so I'm going to change my business model going forward to where if you need services beyond the contracted original contracted estimate. All right, sorry about that. My battery died. Like I was saying, boats like this that are brought to me in a shape to where just about nothing works take a lot more time than originally estimated, and for that it harms everybody else after that customer. I had a choice to either basically give this customer's boat back to him in a non-tested state, and he didn't really want that. In the future, I'll have to be more insistent on that and say, look, either you got to go to back of line, or there's really no other option. It's not a matter of time, it's not a matter of time or money. It's a matter of, well, it is a matter of time. It's not a matter of money. It's a matter of time for me to do the work and get it done, and also take care of other customers that I've contracted for. So going forward, I'm gonna have to warn customers that look, it's more than likely going to be more than an engine rebuild, and adjust both the estimate, the fees, and the time accordingly. Like I say, this particular boat was a very difficult boat, or this engine, and well, actually the whole boat. Going back to the engine, so this engine was brought to me as a 5-liter Mercruiser, and when I got inside of it, it is not the original engine. It's supposed to be a what's called a roller cam block. It was a roller cam block, but did not have a roller cam. The previous builder put a flat tappet cam in it. I won't build a flat tappet cam engine. I refuse to do that. I will put a roller. If somebody brings me a boat like that or an engine like that, I'm going to put a roller cam back in it. Why? Because roller cams generally do not wear out, and they're much more robust. Flat tappet cams, if you don't treat them right, if you don't break them in right, if you don't use right oil, the modern oils don't really have the proper amount of zinc in them to run a flat tappet cam. You have to run special additives, zinc additives in your oil if you run a flat tappet cam. So I just don't want the liability of building a flat tappet engine. So anyway, I put a roller cam back in this engine. It had the bosses to mount the spider to hold the rollers in there, so that's what I put back in here. This block was not a Vortec block, so the front of the timing cover, or the front of the block, did not accept the Vortec plastic timing cover as is. To resolve that, there's a company called EFI Connections that sells a timing cover that converts a non-Vortec block to the plastic Vortec timing cover. That option, or that particular part, is $125. And I believe it comes with the cover and some kind of metal adapter and the gaskets and everything else, but it's pretty steep at $125. But if you have a non-Vortec block and you want to run the plastic Vortec cover, you have no option. So that's another option, or another issue that had to be redone on this engine. The intake manifold was very significantly rusted. Everything I'm telling you is, it will be in the playlist for this particular build, this particular engine, and you can see from the playlist how much work went into repairing this engine. But or actually, I won't say restoring this engine. I had to replace this pulley here. It was making a lot of noise. Maybe it sounded like the power steering pump, but when I was checking the power steering pump, I noticed this pulley didn't rotate freely. So once I replaced that pulley, the noise went away. So the only thing I see is I left the clamp off here. I just put the hose on less than 3 hours ago, so I got to put a clamp on that, which I'll do shortly. And I think that's about it. As I was saying, this engine was brought to me as a hodgepodge of different parts. The block was not original. Let's see what else wasn't original. Obviously the camshaft was original, several things. So I put it back to factory specifications with it's got the roller 5.0 cam, the roller lifters and everything like that. Let's see, lost my train of thought. So when you get a motor like that, that's a hodgepodge of different things. It's hard to figure out what came with the boat. You don't know, is it missing this piece or is it missing that piece? And it's kind of hard to figure out exactly what's missing because you don't know what came with, or what's supposed to come with it. For example, on this particular boat, there's some little washers in the back that hold the rear motor mounts, and they're little spiral washers. And there were none in this. When I took this motor out, the spiral washers weren't there. But so what I'm getting at is, like I was saying, it was a hodgepodge, and I didn't find this. Most time I'll look for the serial number, which will be on a plate on the back starboard side of the engine. This didn't have that plate, so I didn't know what the serial number was. So for a long time, I did not know what the serial number was, so I could not look up parts for this engine. I get most of the parts are common, standard General Motors engine parts, but the serial number helps out a lot to figure out exactly what you need. So as I was prepping this engine to put it in, and I put the rear, what I call a bell housing. Not sure what the marine industry calls it. Trying to remember. It's not the bell housing on a marine engine is actually out there where the gimbal is. This is the flywheel. I think they call it flywheel cover, or the flywheel housing, or something like that. But anyway, it's the part that bolts to the back of the engine, covers up the flywheel. The serial number was on a sticker on the back of that. So if you don't find your serial number on your engine, you can look at the back of your flywheel cover, and there might be a sticker with your serial number there. When I found that serial number, that was a huge help, because then I realized I did not have the two spiral washers, or spiral spring, I guess they call them spiral washers. There's two spiral washers I needed for this engine. So again, one of the most important things you need to find is the serial number. And that helps a tremendous amount when you get a boat engine that's not original. And so that's all I wanted to say. Just apologize to a lot of my customers for taking so long to build their engine, because this one has taken so long. It's been a real major pain to get this boat done. But like I said, this was severely rusted. The intake was severely rusted. I restored a lot of it. Internally here is kind of rusted, but I treated it, got the rust out. Just a real bear to finish this motor. But I believe it's finally finished. About to take it to the river for a test drive, and you'll see that in another video in this playlist. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy my channel, and subscribe if you haven't, and turn on notifications because I publish videos at least 2 or 3 a week. Again, thanks for watching, and good night.